And if there were ever any doubt that President Obama was keenly aware of the political maelstrom surrounding him, there is this extraordinary Rolling Stone interview. January 27, 2009, only a week after his inauguration, the president was on his way to a meeting with Republicans to present and gather ideas on the stimulus bill. Quoting him, and on the way over, the caucus, that is the Republican caucus, essentially released a statement that said, we're going to vote no as a caucus. And this was before we'd even had the conversation. At that point, we realized that we weren't going to get the kind of cooperation we'd anticipated. The strategy the Republicans were going to pursue was one of sitting on the sidelines, trying to gum up the works based on the assumption that given the scope and size of the recovery, the economy probably wouldn't be very good even in 2010, and that they were better off being able to assign the blame to us than work with us to try to solve the problem. As for the communications and oft-time fundraising arm of the GOP, Fox News, the president seemed to be under no illusion about its effect. It is part of the tradition that has a very clear, undeniable point of view. It's a point of view that I disagree with. It's a point of view that I think is ultimately self-destructive for the long-term growth of a country. The president also said that the Tea Party was a mixed bag of different strains in American politics, including libertarians and social conservatives, but he was clear that moneyed interests underpinned much of the movement. Quoting again, there's no doubt that the infrastructure and the financing of the Tea Party come from some very traditional, very powerful special interest lobbies. I don't think this is a secret, the president said. Dick Armey and Freedom Works, which was one of the first organizational mechanisms to bring Tea Party folks together, are financed by very conservative industries and forces. Forces, the president added, that are against environmental laws and clean energy policy, as well as regulations to protect workers and rein in the financial industry. Let's turn to the magazine, the Washington bureau chief of Mother Jones Magazine, columnist for politicsdaily.com, David Corn. David, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
I need to preface what I'm going to say here with something that the Deputy Press Secretary, Mr. Burton, said in a gaggle aboard Air Force One this afternoon about whether or not the president feels appreciated. Let me quote Mr. Burton directly. What the president is doing is making sure that people know, whether you're on the left or on the right, that we've done a lot, we've got a lot more to do, and if you're on the left, if you're somebody like Keith Olbermann or Rachel Maddow or one of the folks who helps to keep our government honest and pushes and prods to make sure that folks are true to progressive values, then he thinks that those folks provide an invaluable service. I want to thank Mr. Burton for his kind words and the president for his, and I want to sort of rise to this bar, I hope, by asking you this. If on the 8th day of his administration the president knew the GOP was just anti-everything, why ever since has he been negotiating with them as if he could ever get a yes from them?
I think it's because the president doesn't watch zombie movies. I mean, you can't negotiate with zombies. You can't trust zombies.